Good morning, starshine. Dear says hello. Hello. Okay, so it's not the Earth. It is the Crazy Art Lady again. And here, what we're doing today is we're continuing with the cylinder, but this time we're going to turn it into something real that we know of, and we can look at the mug. Okay, now the cylinders, if I could look at a paintbrush, I could see that there's going to be a cylinder there. Trees are going to be cylinders, but let's take a look at a mug in real life. And what we can see is that this mug, if I turn it over and I see the bottom of this mug, I see a complete circle. Would we all agree? I'm hoping so. I'm hoping. This is a circle at the top, at the bottom, and at the top. I've got another mug here. Same thing, circle, circle. But the thing we want to do when we're drawing these, and we're going to just do it freehand today. This is not quite organic, but it's more of an organic shape that we're going to go ahead and freehand it. Not use all those rulers and that tight ellipse. So what we want to do is we want to look at this according to that principle of perspective. So if I kind of tip this and you imagine your eye, where your eye is going to be, okay, and we're looking down into this, and what we see is an ellipse. And same thing for the bottom, is that if I were looking up at this, what would happen is I would see an ellipse at the bottom. My mind knows that that's a complete circle. However, one of the tricks in drawing is we got to draw what we see, not what we know is there. So that's what we're going to start on doing. So what you see here right now is I've got a finished one, and this, we can see that the light is shining right here, which means the shadow is going to fall back here. The lip of the mug is going to cast shadow right here, okay? This part is going to cast shadow here, but then you're going to see some highlight because the light is coming over here. It's going to be right there. And then we've got some shadow here, shadow here. It comes a little bit lighter right here with our reflected light, but that's going to come in later episodes, so we'll understand a little bit more about that. So let's go ahead and get started. You're going to take a blank piece of paper today, okay? And what I want you to do is put your first and last name on it. First and last. Okay. Last name. And then what you're going to do is if you're working in a classroom, you want to put your period number. Okay. And then today's date is August 30th. 2017. My kids have returned to school, and I love my children, but I'm telling you, it's so nice to have the house to myself. So I have since retired, and I'm just loving it. So I also want to keep on hand a blending stump for that shading that we're going to be doing. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with this, a pretty easy one, is I want to take a look at my original, and for some of you, you have a handout. Some of you don't, so you're just going to have to follow along. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an ellipse for the top of the mug, like this, okay? And I'm going to go round and round and round till I get the shape that I want, because I can always erase what I don't like, okay? Down at the bottom, depending on how long I want this to be, I'm going to try to come up with a matching ellipse. A little bit flatter down here, okay? And then what I'm going to do is at the edges of the ones that I like, I'm going to sketch in a side panel and a side panel there, okay? Now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and erase the inside part because I don't really need that, okay? Like that. I'm going to be looking down into this mug, okay? Got that? Lovely. Now, on this part, because I want to have a little bit more of a stronger lip, I'm going to mirror this like this. Okay, I'm going to come around. Okay. And I want to make sure it's really rounded. Don't pinch it off like this, because it doesn't look realistic that way. So go ahead and erase that now. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is now I'm going to draw my handle. Now here's what I like to do, is I like to count. One of the things that we do when we draw sometimes is we just start drawing without actually figuring out what's there, and there are actually lines and angles here. And I count 1 and 2 and 3 and then 4 and then 5 and then 6 and 7 and 8 angles or lines going on that mug, on that outer edge. So let's go ahead and try that. I'm going to start it right here above this. I'm going to go 1, and then I'm going to go 2, and then I'm going to round it 3, okay, and then I'm going to go 4, and then I'm going to come down 5, and then I'm going to go 6, and I'm going to curve it 7 and down 8, okay? And so what that does is that gives me a pretty reasonable facsimile of what I've done. Now here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here 1. Oh, let me count first, okay? I'm not just going to start off, okay? I go 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you want to do that one, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to start down below this. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. Whoops, I'm going to bring it in a little bit. 3 and 4, like that, okay? And so that now you see you have your handle, okay? Now, I like to use that stippling method that I was talking about, where, you know, you're still kind of a beginning artist. As, you know, we finish up this series, because according to Paul Cezanne, if we treat all things in nature as a cone, a cylinder, and a sphere, we're going to be pretty successful at finding those basic shapes. And you're probably moving into the realm of an intermediate artist now. So if our light is hitting here, we're going to have, let's go ahead and do this. We're going to stipple this in, and the reason I said is that you're intermediate, so after a while you're going to let go of the stippling. You're going to have a little bit more of an innate sense of where the highlight's going to hit, but we're going to have that highlight hit right there. Now what I want to do is I want to figure out where my eye line is, and so I'm going to go here and here, and I'm going to put my horizon line just like that, like it's sitting on a table. So as my contour shading, I'm going to identify this line, so the things below the horizon line are going to, contour hatching is going to start flattening out as it comes closer to this, and then it's going to start coming up this way. Okay, actually did that wrong. Okay, I'm going to go up like this, okay, and then I'm going to go like this. Actually, pretend I didn't even just say that. Okay, so, and we're going to come up here, a little bit flatter. Okay, as we go up, and there you have it. Now, I like it, but it's not done. Remember, what you're going to do is you're going to do a lot of shading and shadow here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start shading and shadow, and I'm going to start blending. So I want to blend this out, and I remember that I want to blend it in the direction that I put it down so I don't lose those beautiful shadows. I'm going to go ahead and start erasing a few things too. So as I do that, I'm going to erase. I want to get a stronger line around the bottom, like that. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and shade and shadow this also. Okay, so I'm going to shade and shadow this, and now you're starting to look at these things and go, God dang, I'm getting pretty good. So you can go ahead and go like this. I'm so hot. Okay, but you're doing a great job. Okay, so be aware that you're learning at a pretty strong clip. So if you want to go back and you want to practice these again and again, that's fine, because what you'll find in most of these art books that you have, they're always going to have you start at least these 3 shapes and really try to get good at them. Okay, so I'm going to erase some of that. I like my Saturday morning noise. So let's go ahead and go around like this, get that nice strong lip here. Okay, now when it comes to shadows and shading, I'm still working on this part of the cylinder. Okay, so let's take a look at this, and what we have is that this lip, you see that light here? Well, this lip is still going to cast some shadows, so I'm going to make some shadows just coming straight down like this. Got it? Then I'm going to get lighter out here, okay, and then a little bit of shadow and shading there, not too much. Okay, now this lip is going to cast shadow over here, so let's go ahead and make sure that's real strong right there. Okay, and I'm going to blend that out a little bit. Okay, we got this here, and we're going to have a shadow fall on this part of the handle, so we're going to make that really dark. Dark goes in or recedes, and light comes forward, so this is going to make it look like this is going in. So here we go. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and start shading in shadow. And over here, what I want to do on the handle, you can see that this is going to cast shadow here. It's really important that if you're figuring out where your highlight is, carry it all the way through on that to figure out where your shadow is going to fall. Okay, so if you look at this, your shadow is going to fall back here. So let's go ahead and just kind of outline that handle a little bit, and then like this, we're going to have some shading and shadow there in the back. Okay, your shadows would be falling back there, and I can go ahead and add a little bit there too. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, and then for this part, we're going to go like this, and then we have a pretty beautiful mug here. Okay, and this mug is now ready to put something tasty in it. Okay, now I've had students put hot chocolate in it. What you do is you round, like if you wanted to put it, you know, make it into something, let's take a look at how we can extend that. But we could go like this, and we could darken it if I wanted to put hot coffee in there or hot cocoa. Okay, could do that, or you know, sometimes I could put some steam coming up. Okay, it's kind of up to you. If I wanted to write something on this, like if I wanted to write mom, what I would do is I want to make sure that my writing would go across, not flat, but it would go rounded across to extend that a little bit. But pretty much that's it, except for your shading and so and your blending. So take some time to blend this out, and I think you're going to be really happy with it, and put something tasty in it. You have a good time. I really loved seeing you guys today. It's the Crazy Art Lady signing off, and do me a favor, subscribe, give me some comments. I know that these are rough right now, but you know what, I'm having fun making them, and I hope you're enjoying doing art with me. So I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.